Same. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I got the headphones in. See if that helps my sound quality. You guys can unmute if you want.
I wasn't totally sure. And so I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I usually just, as soon as, when class starts, I ask people to mute, but
Perfect.
we got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Yes.
All right.
Got you. I've got this. Do you see my yoga instructor behind me just to help with my focus?
Wow, he's so judgy.
He's very judgy. Judgy. This light. This light. Oh my God.
Are you doing yoga on a moo-moo?
I was gonna say, I know the meeting's being recorded, but am I being recorded?
I'm gonna cut all this out. Don't worry.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you see my little kittens, boy?
I see the Ollie boy. I was just saying I didn't want to change. I just didn't. So I was just gonna turn my camera off and let my butt hang out and stuff.
All right.
But I wanted to be parked in front of my window because the storm is really pretty.
It's been nice. I had to pick up meds at Target and I legit wore my like fuzzy leopard like slides out. And I was like in the parking lot, I was like, oh, this is cute. And then it started torrential raining and I was like, oh, this is even cuter. This is too.
That sucked.
It wasn't great.
This one sounds good.
Make sure everything just for my brain is on not making noises.
Oh, Brooke, do you have Spotify?
Yes, but it's not one that I pay for, so I don't know how it works with it. I do. I should be able to link up stuff, I think.
I don't know if it matters. Let's see. I'm working on a new playlist.
Ooh,
It's
fun.
got some fun songs in there.
Oh,
Let's
yay.
see.
Oh, and since we're cutting all of this out, I officially told Lucas I am like not his person. And he said, I hold a place in his heart and soul. He will wait for me forever because he is madly in love with me. So I said, bye. Forever. Goodbye forever.
Whoa. What the heck?
As I'm finding out that unemployment wants me to get my unemployment based on 2020's earnings, which I don't know if unemployment remembers that 2020 didn't have earnings.
Yeah. Oh, that's some bullshit.
All bullshit.
It's the same thing for me too.
Yeah, I was like, how did that happen? That doesn't make any sense. There should be a legal pass on that, whatever. I'm glad I'm having yoga today because yesterday was too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But today I'm like in a much better headspace about it. And I was like, I'm not even getting on the unemployment page today. Just doing some fun things for me.
Yeah, I started it Monday and I didn't get in until yesterday.
It's trash.
Hours. I was waiting hours.
Oh, mine's for premium only.
Erg.
I'm a poor person. Maybe I'll ask Lucas if he can buy me a Spotify. Sorry.
So you can't listen to playlists at all? Because I could just send you the playlist and you might be able to listen to that.
Yeah, just send me the playlist. I can listen to playlists that have been like shared because I have like
Okay.
summer solstice and things on there.
All right, I'll do that. Copy.
But yeah, I'm in a much better headspace than I was Titty Hall and yesterday.
Good.
And I learned a lot about saying no. Like I had to say no to this guy like 800 times, and each time I got stronger and more creative about it. I feel like a strong, empowered lady. What's this short video? To get 30 minutes of uninterrupted listening. Then I'll also have 30 minutes of uninterrupted listening, and then I'll get a commercial.
Well, okay, in 30 minutes, we will just be slowing down so you won't like it won't ruin your Zen that much.
Okay, good. Oh my goodness, that's so much fun. Here we go. Sorry. Okay.
All right. Looks like I'm starting a concert. How are we all feeling out there tonight? Ah. Oh, Trish, I sent you the playlist link if you want to link up. Yes. Yes.
By the way, I think we have the same shirt, but mine's in the muted color. It's like that.
Oh, yeah. Dang, I didn't know they had that one.
Yeah, they just got those, I think. I saw in your video, I was like, same sis.
Because I got this one and a black one, and it's awesome. Like it's a shirt, but it's a sports bra. Like it's pretty great.
I live for everything that has a knot at the center, like
Yeah.
every like 4 shirts now.
Yeah, I've worn this as a regular top too, because I'm like, why, whatever.
Sure. It is a regular top.
Emily, can you
Who's good?
test the music and like hit play and see if it plays on my end? Okay, it worked. Yay.
If I breathe really deep, can you guys hear it? Ew.
A little bit, but not much.
Okay. It's so gross.
I thought it sounded like a soothing rain stick, but that's me.
Well, what if you hear? See, it's more the swallowing. If you can hear me swallow, then I'm like mortified. Like I'm so sorry.
Fine, girl. All right. I'm gonna mute myself. We're gonna get started. Let you roll, girl. Love you all.
Okay. Love you. Speaker. Okay. All right. Let's get this show on the road. The hike back here. Okay. Go ahead and start your playlist, Brooke, if you got it handy. And we can lengthen out through our spine. You sit in a comfortable seated position or easy seat pose, just like this. Rest your hands wherever they feel comfortable, either on your lap or palms shining up or down on the knees. You can close your eyes or keep a soft gaze out in front of you. Lengthen through the spine and drop the shoulders down the back, feeling the neck lengthen. The crown of the head points up towards the sky. And begin to bring awareness to your breath. Expanding through the chest, sending it all the way down to the lower belly. And exhaling slowly through the nose, making our inhales just as long as our exhales. And I'd like you guys to start out by putting both the hands over top of the heart space. Go ahead and breathe into the palms. And I'd like you to repeat in your head, I'm going to have a great class. I'm going to have a great class. I'm going to feel so much better. I'm going to release all of my negative energy, the tension that I'm holding on to. Go ahead and do a full body scan of how you're feeling. And notice if there's any energy that feels stuck or stagnant. It could be in the legs or the hips, maybe the spine, the shoulders, the neck. And we'll do our best to release all of our tension. And take a few more breaths here before we begin. We're going to be working on our ranges of motion. We're going to build strength in the muscles, the connective tissues, and our joints. And we'll settle into some deep, relaxing poses. A little bit of yin, not quite holding as long as yin, but still very passive at the end. Go ahead and bring a smile to your face. And you can blink your eyes open, and we'll go ahead and begin in child's pose. So come on to your hands and knees. Sit on your heels and widen the knees as much as comfortable. And begin to walk the arms down long on the mat, resting the forehead down. Reaching the fingertips, crawl them up towards the top of the mat to feel the spine lengthen. As you do this, notice if you feel a gentle pull in your lower back as the hips drop towards the heels. Breathe deep into the inner thighs or wherever you feel it the most. Notice the support of the floor underneath the third eye space. Using the support of the floor to feel grounded, a sense of stability. And in child's pose is where we can feel safe and secure. As our heart drops down to the floor. Let's inhale and rise up onto our fingertips. And we will walk our hands over to the outside edge of the right side of the right side edge of our mat. Extend the left hand a little bit further out than the right, and we'll stretch through the left side body. Settle here, rest the forehead. And as you inhale, feel the ribs expand. And exhale, feel them fall. Breathe into the sensation you feel in the side body. Let's rise up, walking back to center. And then we'll switch over to the left side, extending the right hand a little bit further out than the left, settling in here, breathing into the right side body now. As you inhale, expand through the ribs on the right side. And exhale, let them release back to center. And breathing into the sensation on this side too. Let's rise up, coming back to center. And then we'll walk the arms in and come up into tabletop pose. Line your knees under your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. We'll go ahead and drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl the tailbone up towards the sky for cow. Inhaling, letting the belly hang and drape down towards the floor. Just letting ourselves be in this moment, feeling into the spine. And exhale, round the spine, pull the navel in, tuck the chin into the chest, push the floor away from you and feel in between the shoulder blades. And inhale, let's come back into our cow, dropping the belly. And exhale, round and push the floor away into cat. Inhale one more time and round it into cow. And exhale, last time, round it into cat. Let's go ahead and come into a neutral tabletop and we'll start to do some spinal rotations, scooping the ribs over to the right, coming up into our cat pose, and then scooping them down towards the left, rounding it into cow, and continuing this motion. You can get the tailbone into it and dropping the shoulders, a really sensual movement. And if you'd like, you can even add some rotations in the neck and the head. It's a little bit challenging though, and I've had a hard time. Let's go ahead and switch directions, starting through the spine, and then easing the hips and the shoulders into it. If you'd like, you can add on that head, but whatever feels good for you. A little bit of movement in the spine. Gonna feel like butter after this. Let's go ahead and pause, and we'll come to sit on our heels in hero's pose. Drag the fingertips up and down the tops of the thighs, giving yourself a little light touch massage. Feel how it tingles and maybe even tickles a little bit. Now, give your quads a good squeeze, a little bit of loving. And then we'll plant the left hand down next to us on the mat, and we'll extend the right arm up and back in big circles, opening up through the shoulder. Waking them up, letting them crack and pop. When you get to the top of your circle on the right side, extend through the right fingertips and dip it over towards the left side of your mat for a side body stretch on the right side. And then we'll rise back up. Go ahead and plant the right hand down next to you and send the left arm up and back. I'm going to try not to play the piano when I swing my arm like this. You might notice on the differences between the range of motion on both sides of the body. We'll do our best to try to keep them equal, but it's always going to be a little bit different. Not only, do you count on your anatomy or your dominant side, but you could have an injury or just really it could be a bunch of different things. Extend through the fingertips and lean over towards the right side of the mat, breathing into the left side body now. And let's rise back up, extend the arms up towards the sky, bend the elbows at 90 degrees, cactus in the arms, open up through the chest, push the shoulder blades together, squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. Maybe slight gaze upward, pushing the chest up towards the sky. Inhaling and expanding through the chest. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest and extend the arms up towards the top of the mat, really reaching through the fingertips. And let's inhale and roll the spine back open, cactus the arms, doing a little seated cat-cow variation. I love to do this all the time, everywhere, sitting in a chair, standing up. Go ahead and exhale, round through the spine, extend the arms. Now let's go ahead and use both the hands to grab the opposite shoulders, giving yourself a little hug, bringing it all in. Inhale, roll it up and cactus the arms. As we open up, we feel the air and all of the energy that is around us. And as you exhale and round, see if you can imagine yourself pulling that energy into your body as you go in for that hug again. Bringing it into the body and pulling it inside of us. And let's go ahead and release, and we'll extend the arms back up towards the sky. We'll reach the arms back behind us and interlace the fingertips. We can open up through the chest. Drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. You can lift the palms off the tailbone to give this a little bit more intensity. And if you need to, you can always grab a rag, a strap, a tea towel. You can use your sweatshirt. Just open up through the chest if you have difficulty keeping the hands together. And take one more big inhale, expanding through the chest, sending it all the way through the chest cavity. And exhale, let's release. We'll walk it out into our tabletop pose and go ahead and walk the hands out a little bit further, and we're going to take puppy. So come down onto the forearms, line the hips over the knees. We're going to push the chest down towards the floor, resting the forehead here. Pull the navel into the spine. And breathe deep into the shoulders as you feel them open. You might feel an opening in the armpits, especially the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe even feel it in the biceps. We're not here for too long. If the flexibility allows you to, you can begin to pick up the head and rest down onto the chin. Any variation that you'd like to take is perfectly up to you. And let's inhale and come forward down onto our bellies for Sphinx pose. Keep the elbows bent at 90 degrees in front of you. The forearms are parallel with the long edges of our mat. Tuck the tailbone down towards the heels. Push the pubic bone into the floor. And we're going to go ahead and drag the elbows back towards the body. If you need to adjust your back bend, you can walk the arms down long or to bring them in to intensify it. And as we drag the elbows towards the body, you can pull the heart forward. And if you'd like, you can look over the shoulders, stretching out through the neck, holding wherever you feel like you need a good stretch. Let's go ahead and release it all the way down to the mat. Plant your hands in line with your shoulders. We're going to take Cobra. Roll the shoulders down the back, push into the tops of the feet, and rise up, lifting the chest off the floor. And try to use as much ab, core, and back strength as you can. The hands are just there for your support. Let's go ahead and release. We'll do this 2 more times. So on your next inhale, let's rise up. And exhale, back down to the floor. Last time, let's inhale and rise up. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead and push it up into our first downward facing dog, setting those hips up high. You can pedal the feet out, warming up the hamstrings and the calves. The feet are about hip width distance apart. The hands are shoulder width distance apart. You can bend the knees as much as you need to get the spine nice and long. So you're in a little triangle shape. Relax the neck, pull the navel into the spine. Maybe over time, the legs straighten. And don't worry if your heels don't touch the ground. It is so overrated. Squeeze the biceps along the ears, and there's an external rotation in the arms. So the armpits face each other. And take a few breaths in this down dog before we start amping up our practice, warming up. We're going to take 3 sun salutation A's. So I will walk you through step by step the first one, and then we will move nice and slow. And the next 2, we will speed up just a little bit, and I'll use less cues so we can flow. So when you're ready, go ahead and walk or step it up all the way to the top of your mat. And meet me in halfway lift, nice flat back. You can rest your hands on your shins, knees or thighs. If you're on your thighs, pinch the shoulder blades behind you, broadening out through the chest. Inhale. And exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to, forward fold. Again, just like down dog, we bend the knees to help lengthen through the spine. And it's like a little hack for your glutes. So if you find yourself with your legs straightened and your arms just hovering over the floor, if you bend your knees, it's like you surpass the glutes. And then you can straighten the legs over time, and you'll probably still be touching the floor. Let's lean our weight into our heels and bend the knees nice and deep and help roll the spine all the way up, nice and slow to standing, coming into mountain pose. The arms come down by our sides, palms shining forward for Tadasana. You can close your eyes. Go ahead and place one hand over your heart and the other hand over your stomach or your solar plexus. And breathe deep into the hands. Feeling the floor underneath the feet. Using the breath to bring calmness, stability. And using the breath to focus on to help calm the mind. And check in with yourself here, how you feel right now. As the floor supports underneath your feet. When we're feeling scattered and aloof, if we just come to this posture in Tadasana with our hands where they're at, we can feel so much more secure. Even for 5 breaths. I'd like you to bring another smile to your face. If your eyes are still closed, just enjoy this moment, being here. Forming a relationship with the self. Digging deep into the subconscious as thoughts come up. In yoga, this is called our Chitta Vritti. And we can use the breath and our flow to help bring our thoughts down so that we can allow them to come and then let them drift off down a river. Blink your eyes open and we'll extend the arms up towards the sky. And now go ahead and reach back behind you, swan dive forward, forward fold. Again, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale for halfway lift, nice flat back. And exhale, plant the palms. Let's step it back into our plank pose. You can take full plank or you can choose to lower your knees if you'd like. We're gonna take, I'm gonna give you two options here. You can take a full chaturanga and lower all the way down and then take cobra, or you can lower halfway in your chaturanga and push up into upward facing dog. So choose your level of intensity and how you're feeling. And inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push up into cobra or upward facing dog. And in your up dog, if you're in up dog, press into the tops of the feet, lift the knees off the floor, drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then send it back into your downward facing dog. You know, we've been through that sun salutation A one time. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to take a few breaths in this down dog. When you're ready, let's go ahead and walk or step it up to the top of your mat. Meet me in halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Hands come towards the sky, palms touch. If you like, you can add on by taking a slight back bend, leaning the chest backwards, pointing the chest up towards the sky. Let's come back to center and then swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. And exhale, plant the palms, step it back into your plank pose. Again, choose your variation of plank that you'd like to take. Inhale in your plank. And exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push it up, cobra or upward dog, upward facing dog. And exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Again, taking a few breaths here before we go through that one more time, a little bit quicker. When you're ready, go ahead and step or walk it up all the way to the top of your mat. And meet me in halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, hands come towards the sky. And exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold again. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back into our plank pose. Choose your variation of plank. Inhale here, and exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push it up, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and lower onto the knees. Now we're going to work through a few shoulder things. We're going to do some neural flossing in the arms. So go ahead and reach your arms out into a T. Actually, first, if you'd like to come off the ankles, you can take a block and place it underneath the sit bones to lift up off the ankles so there's not so much pressure on them. We'll go ahead and keep those arms out into a T. I'd like you to take the right hand and open up the palm so the palm opens up like this, facing outwards, and take the left hand and fold the palm inwards towards your face. So, and then I'd like you to take your right ear to your right elbow, or your right shoulder, I'm sorry. That's funny. And just hold here, feeling into the nerves. Notice if you feel any numbing or tingling, especially in the right hand. Let's go ahead and open up the left palm now and fold the right palm in, and now lean your left ear to your left shoulder. And now go ahead and switch back to the other side, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, holding for one breath. And exhale, switching back toward the left for one breath. Inhale. Exhale, switch, lean the right ear over. Inhale. Exhale, switch. Go ahead and release the arms. Maybe give your arms a little shake. Woo! Maybe roll the shoulders back and forward. Little bit of wigglies. Now let's go ahead and come back into our downward facing dog. Plant your hands and those hips up nice and high. And this little down dog is just a little transition to get us into high lunge. So we're going to sweep the right leg up towards the sky. If you'd like, you can bend the knee, sinking the heel towards the glute, setting the knee up towards the sky. And go ahead and straighten the leg, come up high onto the tippy toes. Maybe you make some space, lifting up your right arm, and send that right foot up in between the palms. You might need to walk the back foot in a little bit. Go ahead and press into the feet, and we'll rise up into high lunge. Really strong and active through the back left thigh. Generous bend in the right knee, pull the abs in. Feeling the power from the legs as they keep you lifted. Notice if you have any sheets of Vritti as we start building through these stronger poses. It could be as simple as, oh my gosh, when is this going to be over? Just allow yourself to be in this moment. You are badass. You are up for a challenge. Let's go ahead and start rotating over to the left side of our mat. Pivot that back foot to almost the short edge of your mat, but I'd like you to point the toes up towards the top left corner of your mat so that the heel is kind of out almost at a 45-degree angle, but not quite. Bend through the right knee and open up that right knee towards the second or third middle toe. We're going to take warrior two after all that chit chat. The arms come out to a T. The gaze is over the tops of the fingertips. Again, we're cultivating power from this stance. This is the ultimate warrior, feeling confident, strong, doing the damn thing. And I asked you to pivot the back foot that way to accommodate for the pelvis. So if you can keep your back foot to the short edge of the mat, that's great. And your pelvis is, can allow that, that's cool. But most of us have a really tight, hip sockets and pelvis, so we can rotate just a little bit to help. If you find your torso dipping forward, see if you can bring it back stacked over the hips. And I swear we're almost done. I've talked a lot. Let's go ahead and reverse our warrior. Send that right arm up towards the sky. The back hand grazes the back thigh. Another delicious side body stretch. Let's go ahead and keep that knee bent. Cartwheel the hands down towards the floor and step it back into your plank pose. Again, any variation of plank that you'd like. Inhale here. And exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push it up, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here before we do the sequence again on the second side. So when you're ready, sweep that left foot up to the sky. If you'd like to bend the knee, sending the heel to the glutes, sending the knee up towards the sky, opening up the hip. Go ahead and straighten and square that leg and come up onto the tippy toes. Maybe again, you bring up onto the left fingertips, sending that left foot up in between the palms, making space. You can always grab the ankle and throw it up there if you need to. Press into the feet and we'll rise up into high lunge. Pull the abs in, bend through the left knee. You're high on the ball of the back foot to bring some lift to your stance. Taking a few breaths here. Again, feeling nice and strong. Or maybe you're feeling like super shaky and you're like, oh my gosh. But you got this. We're almost to the good part, the passive part. I'm just kidding. It's all good. It all makes us stronger and healthier. Let's go ahead and open up into that warrior two. Again, pivot on the back foot. So send it up towards, point the toes up towards the right side of the mat. Bend through the left knee and open the knee up towards the second or third middle toe. And the arms extend into a T. The gaze is over the fingertips. Make sure the shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears, so drop the shoulders down. And again, stack the torso over the hips. Feeling the power of the stance on this side. Coming up through the floor, through the legs. You might feel it rise into the torso and it comes out, shooting out of both fingertips. Let's go ahead and reverse our warrior. Keep that knee nice and bent and the left arm comes up towards the sky and the right hand grazes the back thigh. And cartwheel those hands down towards the floor. Step it back into your plank pose. Inhale in your plank and exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push it up, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. And start slowing down our practice now. Let's go ahead and walk our feet up to the middle of our mat. Now walk the hands back towards the middle of the mat. And meet me in halfway lift. That was fun. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and rise all the way up. Hands come towards the sky. I'm going to turn to face you. You can stay where you're at though if you'd like. Bring your hands together at the center of the heart. We're going to take tree pose on both sides. So first, lean your weight into your right foot. As your hands are at your heart, your foot can come at your ankle. The toes could stay towards the floor. You can come to your shin. Try to avoid the knee area. If your knees are super strong, sure, but highly recommend you avoid the knee area. If you like, bring the foot up into the hip crease to the inner thigh. And go ahead and push the thigh into the foot while pushing the foot into the thigh. And open up through the left knee. Squeeze the glutes, the legs, the abs. And your hands can stay at heart center if you'd like. They can cactus out, woo. Or they can reach up towards the sky, extending your branches, feeling the energy of the floor, the earth underneath your feet, coming up through the feet, and the power coming out of your fingertips. Try not to dig the toes into the floor. See if you can balance on the four corners of the feet. And if you find hard to find center, you can pick up the arch of the foot. And by doing this, you can, like to try to do that, you can lift the toes up, which brings the arch of the foot up so you can feel the corners of the feet pressing down into the floor. You can find your drishti or a little spot on the wall or floor to stare at. Or you can challenge your balance by closing your eyes. Definitely adds a little bit of spice. Woo, there I go. That's what I get for closing my eyes. Let's go ahead and hold for one more breath. And inhale. And exhale, release. Go ahead and shake out that right leg. Woo, we're really feeling it, right? Especially right here for me. We'll go ahead and switch into the other leg. So nice and strong in the left leg. Choose the variation that you'd like for this side. Usually you do the same variation as you did on the first side. Find your drishti, your little spot to look at. Squeeze the right leg open, push the thigh and the foot in towards each other, and whatever arm variation that you'd like, go for it. I'll be quiet for this one. So just enjoy your tree. Really feeling that energy. All right, no, quiet. Let's go ahead and release that right foot back down. If you like to shake out the left leg, give it a little wiggle. And let's go ahead and do one more vinyasa. Just one more. We can do it. It's no big deal. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Now go ahead and bend through the knees, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back into your plank pose. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push it up, cobra or upward facing dog. And just go ahead and lower the knees. We're gonna go ahead and do some pigeon flossing, which should be fun. So we're gonna bring our right knee behind our right wrist. It's okay, wherever the shin falls, it's perfectly fine. Extend that back leg behind you. We're gonna stay high up on the fingertips for this, for the first part. And now whenever you're ready, breathing into the right hip, you're going to come down onto the right hip, start turning towards the back of your mat, open up the left knee so that you come to pigeon, turned around, now on the left side. We're going to do this flossing a couple times. Just holding here for just a second, just waking the hip up. And go ahead and lean onto the left hip, turn it back towards the top of your mat, pivoting through the legs, coming back to pigeon on the right side. Then we're going to speed it up just a little bit. So go ahead and transition back to the back of your mat, onto the left hip. And now transition back onto the right. Let's do one more round of this. So come back towards the back of your mat. And one more time, meet me back facing the front of your mat. Extend that back leg behind you. Square the hips off to the top of the mat. And now we're going to take a more passive pigeon. So if you'd like, you can stay up on the fingertips or you can walk the forearms down. And if the flexibility allows, you can come down onto the backs of the hands or all the way to the floor. And breathing into the right hip. And just a little mental note. I've said this before in the past, but they say that our emotions are locked in our hips. And so in these poses, hip openers especially, a lot of feelings can come up. And if you feel the urge to cry, just know that it is perfectly normal. And it's your body's way of saying, hey, I need to release this. And if you're in a state of mind where you can allow it to come, let it out. You'll feel so much better after a huge release. And just make note of what comes up. It's again your Chitta Vritti. Another element of yoga and yoga philosophy, it's in the yamas. The second yama is called Satya, and that stands for truthfulness. And you can determine when these thoughts come up, whether they're true or not, especially if they're about yourself. Question everything and its intent. Let's try to change the way that we speak to ourselves. Just being aware of when it happens. We're allowed to be in this moment, living this human experience. Let's go ahead and take one more round of breath here. Let's push into the floor, rising back up. Plant the hands and send that right leg back into a tabletop pose. If you like, you can extend the right leg back behind you, stretching through the leg. You can do some hip circles just to wake the hip back up, bringing some blood flow to it. And whenever you're ready, we will jump to the second side. So bring your left knee behind your left wrist and extend the right leg back behind you. Square the hips off to the top of the mat and stay here, or Go ahead and lower down towards the floor. I should have said this on the first side, but if you're up on the forearms, a block, a book, anything that you can rest your forehead here just to help bring the floor up to you and help you settle in a little bit deeper, more comfortably, it's a great option. And you might notice that one side is more intense than the other. Just use the breath to send into the outer hip. If you ever feel pain, please come out. You can take a child's pose. And if it ever becomes too intense, you can always come out. Take one more round of breath. Go ahead and push into the floor, coming back into our tabletop pose. You can extend the left foot back behind you and do some of those hip circles if you'd like. Let's go ahead and transition on to our backs, lowering all the way down. Pull the knees into the chest once you get there, giving yourself a little squeeze. And prepare yourself for Shavasana. Take any other movements you'd like before we transition into our final resting pose. And whenever you're ready, extend those legs down long on the mat. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. The arms come down by your sides, palms shining up towards the sky. And allow yourself to completely relax, melting into the floor. You can release the jaw, the space between the eyebrows. Maybe the tongue comes away from the roof of the mouth. And allow yourself to enjoy a few minutes of doing absolutely nothing. Shavasana is your body's opportunity to integrate everything we've just done. So allow yourself this moment and just settle in. Let's go ahead and start deepening our breath, coming back to reality. You can move as slow as you'd like to. You can start by wiggling the fingers and toes, doing some wrist rolls, some ankle rolls, any kind of movement that feels good. If you'd like, you can reach the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And whenever you're ready, however you like to get there, you can turn to one side and push up, or you can just come up into our easy seat pose, a comfortable seated position. Lengthen out through the spine again, get yourself nice and comfortable. And taking a few moments before the end of class to check in with ourselves again. You can close the eyes or keep a soft gaze. And do another full body scan of yourself, checking in with that energy that may have felt stuck or stagnant. See if your energy is more freely around, like floating around the body. Maybe your hips feel a little bit more open. Your back feels a little bit softer. Bringing body awareness and just awareness of ourselves in general makes such a huge difference in our lives. Recognizing how we're feeling and where we're at, being able to check in and taking action of what can I do to make myself feel better or better myself and enjoy living in this life, this lifetime. If you believe in reincarnation, your soul picked this lifetime for a reason, and we should be able to enjoy it. Bring your hands one on top of the other over the heart space again and breathe into the palms. Feeling the warmth of your palms against your skin. And I'd like you to say out loud, if you feel comfortable, or in your head, one positive affirmation about yourself. You can go ahead and repeat it. I'd like you to show yourself some love for taking care of yourself, some appreciation for your body and how strong you are. Show yourself some compassion for things you felt you may have struggled with. And just know that you are exactly where you were supposed to be in this lifetime, enjoying in the moment. You deserve all the love the universe has to offer. You deserve all the happiness the world has to offer. You are so worthy of everything. I'm grateful I get to share this experience with you. Go ahead and bring the hands together at the center of the heart for Anjali Mudra, or prayer hands of the heart. And I'd like to finish this practice by chanting Om one time. You do not have to participate, but if you'd like to, exhale everything out of your lungs. And inhale deeply to chant, big breath in. You can bow forward if you'd like. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Anne.